The bottom of the barrel sounds mean, so let's call this the concrete layer instead. This is where heroes get punched in the face by guys who do not want to blow up the moon, but just really hate your specific neighborhood. These bad guys are not trying to erase time or eat a dimension for lunch. They're just local managers of crime who love money, power, and making life miserable for local heroes. You'll find them hiding in dark alleys, sitting in fancy corporate offices, or flying around on dangerous metal toys. They are made of normal human bones and meat, which means a big metal pipe can still stop them. They cannot survive an exploding planet, but they could definitely ruin your credit score, frame you for murder, or throw your loved one off a historic landmark. Kingpin. If you think a large suit cannot hide a terrifying monster, you have never seen this big guy in action. Wilson Fisk is the top boss of the New York underworld and does his best work while looking like a very angry marshmallow. He grew up poor and sad, then decided that becoming a giant wall of muscle was the best way to get respect. Everyone thinks he is just an overweight corporate guy, but he's actually built like a brick wall that could crush your skull with his bare hands. He doesn't have mutant powers or a magic ring, but he owns almost every cop and judge in the city. He views New York like a massive board game and treats heroes like tiny plastic pieces he wants to snap in half. What makes him scary is how he uses the law like a giant club to beat his enemies. His dense muscle lets him fight people who actually have powers, like Spider-Man, without immediately turning into mush. He is also great at sumo wrestling, which is bad news if he lands on top of you. On top of that, he has a massive bank account that lets him hire the most dangerous assassins on Earth. He does not even need to touch you to destroy your entire life. Take a look at the famous Born Again comic story to see how evil he can be. He finds out who Daredevil really is and decides to ruin him using paperwork instead of a fist fight. He freezes the hero's bank accounts, takes away his legal license, and blows up his house. What's worse, he does all of this while sitting at a nice desk. Later in Spider-Man issue number 197, he shows off his crazy physical strength by fighting the web slinger directly. He physically dominates the hero and pins him down using his massive weight. Turns out that having spider moves doesn't help much when a 500-pound man is trying to turn you into a pancake. He's basically the worst corporate boss you could ever imagine, but with better wrestling moves. Green Goblin. Some people handle corporate stress by going to the spa, but this guy chose to wear a green mask and throw bombs. Norman Osborn started out as a rich scientist who ran a company called Oscorp and wanted too much power. He made a special chemical mixture called the Goblin Formula to make himself stronger, but it accidentally broke his brain and created a creepy second personality. That is how he became Spider-Man's worst nightmare and the most chaotic orange-throwing maniac in the city. Their feud became incredibly personal and bloody over the years. He's not just trying to rob banks, he wants to break Peter Parker's spirit into tiny pieces. The special serum gave him physical strength that matches Spider-Man, along with fast healing and quick reflexes. His brain became much smarter, even though he is completely crazy now. He flies around on a fast metal glider that has guns and rockets attached to the front. His favorite toys are sharp metal bats and exploding pumpkins that can blow up a car. Look at the tragic events in Amazing Spider-Man issue 121 to see his absolute worst moment. He kidnaps Peter's girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, and throws her right off the George Washington Bridge. This single act changed comic books forever and showed that he is a total monster. But that's not even the worst part of his resume. In Superior Spider-Man issue 31 during the Goblin Nation event, he takes over the entire infrastructure of New York City. He uses an underground army of criminals to shut down the security systems of the city. He forces Spider-Man into a terrible guerrilla war across every single borough. Talk about a guy who really needs a better hobby. Tier 2 Global Menaces. Moving up the ladder brings us to the villains who require a much larger map to track. These are the guys who do not care about local police because they can intimidate entire countries instead. They want to control the world, change the weather, or rewrite global laws to fit their own strange ideas. You cannot stop them with a simple pair of handcuffs or a quick punch from a neighborhood hero. They lead large armies, rule sovereign nations, or control the fundamental forces of nature. Their choices affect billions of normal people who are just trying to live their lives. When these villains get out of bed with a bad attitude, teams like the Avengers have to cancel their weekend plans to save the planet. Base Doctor Doom. Wearing a metal mask all day might seem strange, but this dictator makes it look terrifying. Victor Von Doom is the absolute ruler of a small European country called Latveria. He messed up his face during a college science experiment and decided to blame everyone else for his mistake. He built a high-tech suit of armor and decided he was the only person smart enough to run the world. He has a massive rivalry with Reed Richards and combines advanced science with actual magic. This makes him incredibly dangerous because he can build a giant robot and cast a spell on you at the same time. His regular armor is packed with nuclear power and is strong enough to trade punches with Iron Man. It gives him super strength, lets him fly through the air, and shoots powerful energy blasts from his hands. He is also the second best magician on the planet, right behind Doctor Strange and maybe your dad who disappeared after going out to buy some milk. He can summon monsters from other dimensions, create giant magic shields, and travel through time. His power shines in Fantastic Four issue 57, when he builds a crazy device to steal the power cosmic. He targets the Silver Surfer, strips him of his powers, and uses that stolen energy to attack the Earth. But the craziest part is what happens in the graphic novel called Emperor Doom. He builds a giant purple crystal machine to control the mind of every single person on Earth. He successfully enslaves the world and forces everyone to obey his global government. Even worse, or better, he actually manages to fix global warming and world hunger just to show off. Magneto. Controlling metal sounds like a neat party trick until you realize everything on Earth is made of it. Max Eisenhardt survived the horrors of World War II and came away with a very dark view of humanity. He believes that normal humans will always hate people who are different, so mutants need to take over first. That's why he bounces between being a global terrorist, a mutant leader, and a grumpy good guy. He is the ultimate rival to Professor Charles Xavier and his peaceful dream. To counter the X-Men, he commands a group called the Brotherhood and represents a massive threat to every government on Earth. He is an Omega-level mutant who has complete control over magnetic fields and all types of metal. He can stop a bullet in midair, rip it take apart with his mind, and fly at supersonic speeds. He can even control the tiny amounts of iron inside your blood to freeze your body. Because his power connects to the magnetic field of the Earth, he can cause massive natural disasters whenever he wants. The madness starts in X-Men issue 25 during the famous Fatal Attraction storyline. He gets angry at the United Nations and shoots a massive electromagnetic pulse across the globe. This single attack shuts down all global electronics and throws the human world into total chaos. What's worse, he steps things up in Magneto War by hijacking a bunch of nuclear missiles. He threats to blow up the planet unless the United Nations gives him his own island nation. They actually listen to him and give him Genosha as a sovereign homeland. I guess that's one way to win a political argument. Tier 3 Galactic Conquerors. The Earth is just a tiny speck of dust compared to the territory these monsters control. Galactic Conquerors do not care about human politics because they are too busy conquering star systems and alien empires. They travel through deep space, command massive fleets of starships, and treat planets like disposable toys. They regularly fight advanced alien species like the Kree or the Skrulls and win. Normal heroes cannot do much here, so space heroes like Nova have to step up. These villains are driven by an endless hunger for resources, supreme power, or just wiping out life across space. Base Thanos. Dating's hard, but destroying half the universe just to impress a girl is a bit excessive. Thanos was born on Saturn's moon Titan with a strange mutation that gave him purple skin and a giant chin. He became obsessed with the actual physical manifestation of death and fell deeply in love with her. He decided the best way to get her attention was to kill as many living things as possible. Even when he does not have the shiny Infinity Stones, his base form is still completely terrifying. He is a genius space warlord who makes entire alien civilizations shake with fear. His natural body is incredibly tough and could survive a planet exploding right next to him. He can walk through the vacuum of space without a suit and never gets tired. On top of that, he shoots lasers from his eyes and blocks psychic attacks with his mind. His brain is just as dangerous as his fists, making him a master strategist. He proves his physical dominance in Silver Surfer Volume 3, Issue 38 by fighting a cosmically powered hero. He beats the Silver Surfer to the edge of death using nothing but his bare hands. What makes it even crazier is his behavior in Thanos Volume 2, Issue number 2. He takes his space fleet across the galaxy to force alien empires to bow down to him. He then blows up multiple star systems and destroys planetary armies that refuse to pay him tribute. So yeah, in short, he's basically the ultimate space bully, and he does not even need magic jewelry to do it. Sometimes. Annihilus. Imagine a giant angry cockroach from another dimension who also happens to own a massive laser pointer. Annihilus rules over the negative zone, which is a scary antimatter universe full of dangerous monsters. He started as a tiny bug spore, but used a special tool called the Cosmic Control Rod to become super smart and immortal. He is incredibly paranoid and thinks everyone in the universe is trying to steal his stuff or kill him. This crazy fear makes him want to destroy every living thing outside of his home dimension. His insect body is covered in tough shell that protects him from the cold vacuum of space. His special control rod lets him shoot massive amounts of cosmic energy and stops his body from aging. But his greatest weapon is the Annihilation Wave, which is a giant army of flying bugs and warships. They fly through space like a swarm of locusts and eat everything they see. He shows his terrifying power in Annihilation Prologue Issue 1 by releasing his bug army into our universe. They immediately destroy a giant space prison called the Klin and wipe out the entire Nova Corps defense force. But the crazy part happens in Annihilation Nova Issue 4, when he fights a powerful space hero called Quasar. Annihilus uses his control rod to brutally murder the hero and steal his magical quantum bands. He absorbs their energy to make himself even stronger and more unstoppable. Sometimes I think he's fictional because if he was real, he would definitely be the worst pest control problem in galactic history. Tier 4 Universal Overlords. Conquering a few alien planets is cute, but this is where the truly ridiculous power begins. Universal Overlords do not care about real estate because they want to control the entire dimensions and rewrite a whole universe. They are so powerful that they do not live in reality. They actively break its rules whenever they walk around. They can twist time like a piece of dough, ignore the normal laws of science, and fight literal space gods. Stopping a threat this massive requires a team-up between the best magic users and the grandest cosmic beings in existence. If one of these monsters manages to step into our world, the very fabric of space starts to rip apart. Dormammu. If you think your face looks bad in the morning, try having a head made of permanent mystical fire. Dormammu is an ancient evil being made entirely out of pure, raw, magical energy. He was kicked out of his home dimension for turning matter into energy, which is apparently a big crime there. He moved over to the dark dimension, conquered it, and turned it into a giant collection of stolen realities. Now he wants to add the Earth dimension to his collection like a shiny new trading card. He is the eternal enemy of Doctor Strange and a constant problem for the stability of magic. Inside his own pocket universe, he can change reality with a single thought. Outside of it, he can still shoot soul-destroying magical flames, travel between worlds instantly, and bring dead people back to life. His burning body cannot be hurt by normal weapons, and he can strip away the powers of lesser sorcerers. On top of that, he commands a giant army of rock monsters called Mindless Ones. His magical muscle flexes hard in Strange Tales issue 146 during a massive battle of wills. He goes toe-to-toe with Eternity, who is the living, literal embodiment of our entire universe. This shows his power matches the grandest cosmic abstracts around. What's worse, he pulls off a crazy stunt in Defenders issue 10. During the Avengers Defenders War, he manipulates both superhero teams and uses a magical artifact called the Evil Eye. He then successfully starts merging the Earth dimension with his own creepy dark dimension. Talk about an extreme way to expand your living room. Gore the God Butcher. Having a bad day at church is one thing, but this guy decided to go on a multi-millennium murder spree. Gore came from a miserable, starving planet where everyone prayed to gods who never bothered to answer. After his entire family died from starvation, he told everyone the gods were fake, which got him kicked out into the desert. While waiting to die, he watched two actual gods fall out of the sky while fighting each other. Realizing that gods were real but just did not care about mortal pain, he got incredibly angry. He grabbed a dark magic sword and promised to butcher every single deity in the universe. He started out as a weak alien, but his black sword completely changed his power level. The weapon gives him absolute immortality, infinite strength, and lets him create an army of dark monsters. The sword gets stronger every time it drinks divine blood, which means he gets more dangerous with every kill. He showcases this terrifying strength in Thor God of Thunder issue 9 by fighting 3 separate versions of Thor at once. He dominates young Thor, Avenger Thor, and Ancient King Thor all at the same time in a brutal fight. But the craziest part is revealed in Thor God of Thunder issue 6. He spends thousands of years traveling the cosmos to hunt down and slaughter the divine pantheons of countless alien worlds. He leaves entire galaxies completely empty of their deities and shatters the spiritual architecture of the universe. He's basically the ultimate divine nightmare, and he doesn't even need an army to do it. Tier 5, Multiversal Realities. We are leaving our singular universe behind now to look at the threats that span infinite realities. Multiversal realities are ancient anomalies, elder gods, or primordial forces that can see and touch infinite timelines at the same time. They do not fit into normal categories because they existed before our cosmos was even born. You cannot just punch these entities into submission with a big fist or a loud laser beam. Defeating them usually requires a complete reset of the multiverse or the help of supreme cosmic judges. They could view our reality like a tiny snack or a temporary playground, and their arrival threatens to break creation. Shumagorath. Looking like a giant green eyeball with tentacles is a great way to ensure you never get invited to parties. Shumagorath is an ancient Lovecraftian chaos demon who ruled the Earth millions of years before humans existed. A time-traveling sorcerer kicked him out, so he went to hang out in the empty spaces between universes. He rules over hundreds of alternate dimensions and treats the entire multiverse like a big box of cheap toys. Every time he tries to squeeze his massive body back into our world, the walls of reality start to crack. He can destroy entire galaxies with his passive aura and shoots energy beams from his giant eye that atomize matter. Because he's immortal, destroying his physical body just sends his spirit back to his home dimension. He can control the minds of an entire planet from across another dimension and change his shape into crazy geometric forms. Just looking at him can drive a normal person completely insane. He causes a massive crisis in Marvel Premiere Issue 10 by trying to enter our world through the mind of the Ancient One. This forces Doctor Strange to kill his own beloved mentor just to stop the monster from manifesting. What's worse, his true multiversal scale is shown in Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme Issue 2. Strange has to travel to the demon's home dimension to fight him directly. The hero has to absorb the ambient magic of the entire universe just to stand a chance against him. From this alone, I think we can conclude that he is the most stubborn space squid in existence. Null. Waking up from a long nap is always annoying, but this guy decided to make it everyone else's problem. Null is the ancient god of darkness who lived in the empty void before the multiverse was created. When the giant celestials brought light and life into his dark home, he got mad and started a war. He created the very first symbiote from his shadow and used it to build a massive army. After being trapped inside a planet of thousands of years, he finally woke up to turn off the lights. He has total control over a living abyss and commands a massive hive mind of space dragons. He carries a dark sword called the All Black that can cut the head off a celestial god with a single swing. He is completely immune to fire and loud sounds, which are the classic weaknesses of normal symbiotes. On top of that, he can use his dark energy to blot out stars. He shows off his terrifying power in Venom Volume 4, Issue 4 during a scary flashback scene. Furious about the new light in his void, he creates a shadow blade and decapitates a fully powered celestial entity. But that is not even the worst part of his cosmic resume. In Venom Volume 4, Issue 25, the true multiversal nature of his threat is finally revealed. His dark mind and symbiote hive mind transcends the boundaries of our singular universe. This allows him to corrupt parallel realities and alternate dimensions across the entire multiverse at the exact same time. Talk about a guy who really hates interior lighting. Tier 6 Conceptual Breakers. The villains in this group are so powerful that they treat the entire multiverse like a tiny science project. Conceptual breakers that do not live inside reality, they exist completely outside of time, space, and normal logic. They can easily destroy abstract concepts like death, time, and order without breaking a sweat. They have the ability to wipe out cosmic pantheons and change the rules of existence across infinite worlds. Their power level is so ridiculous that even the highest cosmic judges are completely helpless against them. They do not want to rule worlds, they want to break the concepts that keep reality together. Beyonders. Most people build model airplanes for fun, but these extra-dimensional weirdos prefer building multiversal bombs. The Beyonders are a race of omnipotent aliens who live outside the multiverse in a place called the Beyond. They do not experience time the way we do. They operate as supreme observers. They create a character named Molecule Man in every reality to act as a hidden explosive device for a big experiment. They randomly decided to destroy the entire multiverse just to see what would happen when everything stopped existing. Even a single member of this alien race has enough raw power to delete a universe from the map. If that's not terrifying enough, they operate at a meta-narrative level, meaning they can bypass all known magic, science, and cosmic defenses. They do not even use weapons because their basic thoughts are strong enough to change existence. They show off their absolute dominance in New Avengers Volume 3, Issue 30 during a synchronized attack on reality. They hunt down and murder the living tribunal, who was the supreme judge and second most powerful entity in creation. In that exact same issue, they systematically butcher all the major cosmic abstracts across the multiverse. They kill Eternity, Infinity, Master Order, Lord Chaos, and the entire host of Celestials. This confirms their status as ultimate conceptual breakers who treat space gods like ants. They're basically the ultimate cosmic demolition crew, and they did it all for a science fair. Amatsu Mikaboshi. Before the universe existed, there was nothing but a dark void, and this guy is that angry nothingness. Amatsu Mikaboshi is the literal personification of the endless dark space that existed before creation started. When the universe was born, it pushed back his darkness, leaving him as a grumpy remnant of the old void. He views life and reality as a bad sickness that infected his nice, empty home. Because of this, he wants to destroy every living thing in existence to bring back the quiet darkness. He has infinite dark magic and the terrifying ability to consume entire realities into his body. Unlike regular villains who just blow things up, he absorbs everything into his void and takes their powers. He can control the minds of dead gods, shapeshift into giant planetary forms, and extinguish magic across different dimensions. He starts his big cleanup in Chaos War Issue 1 by invading the various realms of the afterlife. He tears through the underworlds, kills Nightmare, and absorbs the dead realms to increase his power. By Chaos War Issue 5, he successfully consumes 98% of the entire Marvel Universe. He pushes reality into the absolute edge of total destruction before some heroes like Hercules and Amadeus Cho trick him. They fool him into sealing himself into a tiny pocket universe to save the remaining 2% of existence. Tier 7 Omniversal Proxy. We have finally reached the absolute top of the mountain where the rules of storytelling stop making sense. The Omniversal Proxy is the darkest reflection of the ultimate creator of all comic book reality. This entity does not care about dimensions, timelines, or cosmic concepts because it is the counterweight to existence itself. It represents the final absolute end of all stories, love, and life across the entire tapestry of creation. To look at this tier is to look into the ultimate abyss. Its goal is not to rule or conquer, but to ensure that everything ever written is permanently erased. The one below all. If you thought gamma radiation just gave you green skin and a bad temper, you missed the cosmic horror angle. The one below all is the evil counterpart to the supreme creator of the Marvel multiverse. It lives in the below place, which is a terrible layer of hell located beneath the concept of reality itself. It is the secret source of all gamma energy and acts as an unthinking embodiment of pure hatred. Because it does not have a normal brain, it needs to possess people to interact with our world. It constantly tries to use Bruce Banner and the Hulk as a giant tool to break the cosmos. It possesses supreme omnipotence that matches the creator, though it is usually stuck behind a magical door. It uses gamma energy as a phone line to influence our physical world and bring dead monsters back to life. When it successfully takes over a host body, it grants them enough power to kill space gods. A possessed host can devour living universes and survive the natural death of the cosmos. It shows this terrifying influence by taking over the soul of Bruce Banner. It strips away the regular Hulk personalities and manifests its evil will through the Hulk's body. This turns the strongest mortal on Earth into the ultimate vehicle for total destruction. Even worse, Immortal Hulk issue 24 reveals a horrifying future timeline where this possessed Hulk becomes the breaker of worlds. He successfully murders Galactus, Franklin Richards, and devours the actual sentience of the cosmos. This results in the absolute destruction of the entire ninth cosmos, ending all light, life, and matter forever. I guess that's what happens when you do not let the big green guy smash things in peace. That's it for this one. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss a drop. Craving more stories from comics, movies, and beyond? Check out this video right here. Cheers, and see you in the next one.